but I just want to start off with a big warm welcome to everyone here to how to optimize your Bushbalm retail. This is going to be a part of our business advice webinar series, and today we're going to share some tips, tricks, the do's and don'ts, and ultimately how can you unlock the full potential of Bushbalm in your business. So I'm going to be doing a lot of talking here today, so it only seems fitting to introduce myself. My name is Julie. I'm an account manager here at Bushbalm. What that means is I work with our Bushbalm professional community, ensuring that they have everything they need to be successful. In addition to that, I'm also working very closely with our top retailers, learning what is driving their success and taking their tips and tricks to share it with you all today. Well, really share with you every day, but today I've now compiled everything together so you have this, whether you're attending or watching this from a recording, you're gonna learn everything you need to, once again, unlock that full potential. So if I haven't met you, I can't wait to, and if I have, thanks for joining today. So right off the bat, why should you even care about retail? Retail shouldn't be seen as like an added bonus, but more of a core part of how you grow your revenue, but also build a deeper client trust. When we have our clients on the proper aftercare, they're gonna see significantly better hair removal results. When they see those improvements, they are 60% more likely to repurchase because they trust what you're recommending. On top of that, those who prioritize their retail can account up to 20 to 50% of their total revenue. So not only are you strengthening your relationships with your clients, you're increasing retention and giving yourself a more dependable stream of income. So you can either reinvest into your business, whether that's upgrading your space, expanding your offerings, or perhaps it's simply just giving yourself more financial freedom. So with all of these pieces, it seems like a no-brainer, but why would anyone, potentially leave some money on the table at the end of the day? Well, what I'm often hearing in my conversations with our professional community is that it's not that simple, and they don't want to come off pushy. They don't want to come off too salesy, but they have these objections of, my clients are a bit hesitant to make that purchase, or they're just more on the price sensitive side. So what we're going to be talking about is how can we switch selling to not being something pushy, but it's more of educating. And we'll show how we can do that authentically today. First, you gotta get started. So what you want to think about is everything from what are you going to be purchasing to start with? What are you going to be bringing into the service room? How is what you're bringing in the service room going to promote your retail? And everything else that you'll need from Bushbalm to ensure that success. So let's dive into where we're going to start, which is, well, what do you even start with your first order? Think of this list here as your checklist. When you're thinking about your overall setup, do you have your back bar? Do you have what will meet your clients' needs? Everything you need to merchandise, track, and what will be your intentional strategies that you're going to implement for selling and for retailing your products. So what do you start with? Of course, we're not going to be retailing our oil, our back bar oils, or our wax, but that is your client's, in other words, soft launch to Bushbalm. It is their first opportunity to say, here's a wipe to start your service from Bushbalm. Oh, the wax we'll be using today is Bush Beads by Bushbalm. This oil that I'm finishing off the service is with the Bushbalm oil. You're using all of these little nuggets to slowly and organically introduce your client to Bushbalm as a brand. And then when it comes to what are we putting on our shelves, think about what your client's needs are. Do you see more ingrowns? Do you see more dark spots? And when you're thinking of what these purchases, think of a routine. You're only equipping your clients as good as you can get them on a full routine. So if you have scrubs, you should have an oil. If you have oils, you should have scrubs. That will be your ideal maintenance routine. For your clients who are maybe just starting off their hair removal journey, or maybe they fell off the track and they need something a little bit more active to get them back on track. That's when you're going to want to make sure that you have something as well, like a more active ingredient, whether that be your our roller rescue toner pads, our after dark gels. But once you have all your products, where are you going to be putting them? Merchandising can be such an underrated tool because the reality is people buy with their eyes. So being able to put a routine together of a nude oil, nude scrub, and roller rescue and place those all together on your shelf is giving your client a visual opportunity to see what could be their routine. In addition, minis. Minis live next to the cash register or wherever you're taking payment. They shouldn't be on our shelves. When you think about a mini oil and a full-size oil side by side, you're giving a disadvantage to that full size being purchased. I think we've all been in a Sephora or any sort of cosmetic store, and maybe we see something new and we always go for the minis over the full size. So give yourself the best opportunity, and your full size is the best opportunity by leaving the minis as an afterthought or an add-on at checkout. When it comes to signage, leverage our window stickers. Let people know you have it before you even enter the room or enter your suite. Have our cube, our educational brochures, or even print out some of our social assets and put them in a nice frame to have that all on your shelf. At the end of the day, play with the sizes, the colors, but the goal is to make it as aesthetically pleasing as possible. And of course, with having all of your inventory, you're going to need to track it. So you can start with something as simple as just a spreadsheet, no cost there. But you can also take a look, if you have the budget, towards some inventory management apps, which if anyone here today has a management tool or app that they use for their inventory, drop it in the chat so we can all kind of learn from each other as well. But at the end of the day, when you're thinking about your inventory, this is crucial. So you know what's moving and what's not, so you can better plan on your next order to avoid overbuying or running out of your best sellers. In translation, you can stress a lot less and just ultimately maximize your profits. Now, everything is on the shelf. It is now being tracked. What is that final step before we're starting the retailing in the service room? And that's going to be letting people know, leveraging your platforms. I always encourage, engage with the brands that you are retailing. Your clients who live on those platforms are going to see you commenting, liking, reposting. To take it even a step further to show how much you trust this brand or whatever brand it is by posting about them. Make your own post, whether you're holding the products or using like our social assets to make a post around it. And then the last stage is engaging with your clients with these products or with this brand. So that's going to be, practicing something like our pre-order strategy. A story I always like to tell is Audrey from North Carolina, where she reached out to me when we had our sugar cookie. And she's like, Julie, I need 6 more. I've already sold through my first 6, which confused me because it hadn't even arrived yet. She made a poll. She asked her audience on the platform where they most consistently engage with her and said, hey, I'm going to be purchasing this. Who wants theirs? And she had sold out before her inventory even arrived. All of which is possible for you too. Now, this next piece here is more of just a reminder, especially for anyone who's maybe brand new to being an esthetician or just being brand new to retailing itself. As an esthetician, education is one of your most powerful tools that you have. When clients share their skin concerns, they become your concerns because that's going to be a direct reflection of your expertise and services on those outcomes. By educating your clients, you're not only improving their outcomes, but you're also strengthening your relationship and increasing that likelihood of referrals. A lot of clients, they don't realize that issues like ingrowns, dark spots, or just overall post hair removal irritation is normal and it's common. But more importantly, there are proven solutions to help mitigate this. This is where your knowledge shines through. And with educational resources, you have everything you need to confidently inform and guide and recommend with a purpose. So once we have everything set up, we've reminded ourselves we are the experts, we've got this. What's the next step? Let's start selling. But it doesn't just start at the shelf, it starts in the service room. So as I mentioned, what you're going to be carrying in the service room is going to be that first introduction your clients are going to get to Bushbalm, whether you're using our wipes, the back bar oil, or wax. So another recommendation I always have is keep something in the line of sight to your clients. I think anyone here who has gotten any sort of service where you're laying on the table, your eyes are wandering, give yourself a great opportunity for conversation to organically come up through curiosity when they see the blue bottle, the black bottle, the pink bottle. What is the differences? Give them the opportunity to ask those questions by having that in their line of sight. Don't be afraid to bring some newness into the salon. If maybe you're brand new to watermelon sugar and it's finally back, but your clients have never gotten to try it, use a full size, bring it into the service room. Hey, did you want to use our typical, ingrown hair back bar oil that I have? Or do you want to try this juicy, sweet, fun scent to finish your service? Now, if conversation isn't sort of organically happening and you need to initiate it to talk about what that retail aftercare plan is going to look like for them, is ask that. What's your aftercare plan today? When you leave the studio, when you leave my suite, what is that plan going to look like for you? Regardless of their response, be curious. If they come back and they're like, I've never had an aftercare plan, understand why. Maybe they had a really poor experience that's made them hesitant to get on one again. Maybe they're already using a product. Understand what they like about it. Regardless of what the product is, we never want to bash on it or make them feel like it's not a good option, but just understand, what do you like about it? Is it the price point? Is it the scent? Is it the way it makes your skin feel? Okay, amazing. I think I've got something just like that. And here are these other added bonuses and benefits that you can get to it. Just remember, you're the expert when it comes to your product knowledge and guidance. So all of these pieces can turn a service into a long-term great results and also a long-term client. So other add-ons that you can add in to the service room, so things to keep in mind of, and some things I've already kind of touched on is our refreshing wipes, our intimate refreshing wipes. It's an amazing way to start the service, but we also have them available for you to retail. This can be something you can highlight as an amazing item to carry with you when you're traveling. Anyone who's gotten off of a long flight and just needs a little refreshing up, these wipes are perfect for that. Think about after leaving maybe a workout class or leaving the gym and you've got other errands to run. These wipes, once again, really great to just freshen yourself up until you get the time to actually get home and shower. If you're thinking about our vaginal masks, an amazing add-on service. But just because you're adding in the service room doesn't mean they can't use this at home. If they love it in the room, encourage them to get an additional one at checkout so they can use that a couple days later just for some extra hydration to their skin. Anywhere limited edition scents, bring them into the service room. Give them a chance to try them in there to give yourself the best odds of them making that purchase leaving the room. They've already got a chance to smell, touch, and feel it. They're probably going to fall in love with it. So give them that best opportunity by bringing it in the room. The last one, again, one that's doesn't get as much love as it should, and it really should because the vajazzles are an amazing add-on. Having the sheet with the 4 designs, apply one during the service. And then those last 3 designs left on the sheet, have them to take that home with. Think about people who are going down south on vacation. Yes, they can have that on their bikini line. If it falls off within a few days that they're in their vacation, they have 3 other ones to pick from. Or think about folks who are getting ready for like festival season or going to concerts this summer. They're really cute for adding on over your shoulder or maybe on your chest. They don't have to be limited to your bikini line. So these are all items that you can introduce and give your client the opportunity to experience in the service room that can also be brought and turned into a retail. All right, so this is another one that has been a really great tip I've learned from our top retailers. And this is something we can all, each brand, each company, each esthetician here can get creative with. And that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to highlight some personalized introductory kits. So when we hear the conversation around, okay, well, my clients are a bit more hesitant because maybe it's new. Maybe they're a bit more on the price sensitive side. Something a lot of our estheticians will do is they'll gather a wipe, a mini oil. They'll gather these little mini 1 ounce jars from Amazon and then use a full size scrub that is 8 ounces and divvy them up into 8 different little mini containers. In addition, they might put in something to kind of reflect their brand. That could be, if pink is your thing, add a little like barrette or bow in there. Maybe if your thing is a different color and you want to put a little candy in there, or maybe some eye masks, or maybe you have other local businesses around you that you can kind of support each other and maybe they have discount codes or something. Point being, if there's no wrong way to do it, but this is a really great way for those who are maybe hesitant to get on a routine, or maybe they're wanting to switch from like nude to Bermuda and you have a little Bermuda introductory kit. Or just overall, maybe they're just a bit more on the price sensitive side. The prices that you see here, the $7.12 USD, that's going to be covering all the costs of your Bushbalm products. That's all that is. Now, you can add on an extra few dollars if you wanted to round up to cover the price of the Amazon jars and whatever goodies you add, but it's to your discretion. One thing, though, I will note with our introductory kits, or whatever you want to name them, this is an alternative option, not what we want to be leading with. When someone's finishing a conversation and you're understanding what's going to be the best product for them, you want to lead with these full-size items, a scrub and an oil, and if it makes sense, an active ingredient as well. This is for those that are really hesitant, they're not too sure. This is going to be your second alternative option. So we don't lead with, we just have it as optionality. In addition, when it comes to our products, and I think a lot of you who have been using us for a while have learned that we can kind of go beyond, the bikini line with a lot of our products. So when we add multiple uses to a product, we're also increasing the perceived value of that, which is really going to be helping your retail at the end of the day. So think Radiant Reset toner pads and After Dark gels. Amazing for the bikini line, but does incredible work for the underarms as well. Speaking of underarms, the Roller Rescue can act as a deodorant. The AHA and BHA it removes the dead skin cells, unplugs those pores, and which ends up eliminating the odor-causing bacteria, and also helps balance the skin's pH. So when we think ingrowns, we also tend to think of the ingrowns we have on our bikini line. Ingrowns also happen on the face. So think of our folks that do consistent shaving, or they get a really close like a haircut as well. So ingrown hairs can happen on the back of our heads. They can happen on our chins and our faces. They can happen on our chests. So whether it is your client or your client's partner who have these skin challenges at times, the Roller Rescue is going to be a really great option for them, in addition to helping in the other ways that I've mentioned. Also, our vajacials. Vajacial triangles, pretty self-explanatory on the best place to put them. But the strips, we can get creative with those strips. Think about after an underarm wax. Or if you retail it to someone who shaves their underarms, they can take that home to help with additional hydration and helping prevent ingrown hairs. You can also think of the face. Anyone who has gotten a chin wax, upper lip wax, or even best, the eyebrow wax. No one wants to leave their service with the beet red on their face. So having these strips that fit perfectly over the eyebrows and over your chin and think of your face here is a really great way to sort of finish the service, elevate the service, and also bring additional value to the different ways you can use your Bushbalm products. So Think beyond bikini line. Give your clients more value by educating them on everything each product can offer. Okay, so we've been giving all of these tips and tricks and ideas of how to get started and everything else in between up to now. Now we're going to highlight does Bushbalm offer our professional community to ensure that they're successful. So always remember, you're not alone. These are here for you guys. It's not just here you go, best of luck. We want to make sure that you're successful. So best ways to start there would be taking a look at our social assets, our webinars, and our studio locator, which I'll dive into a bit deeper here. So for those who aren't aware of our social assets, think of these as a beautiful library of Bushbalm photos that are available to our professional community to help them promote their Bushbalm products and service, as well as their retail products. So think of posts on Instagram, Facebook, or even printing them out and having them on your shelf to optimize your merchandising. If you're ever thinking, okay, these are so many photos, I always encourage, when you have an hour of your time, put something to watch in the background, pour yourself something yummy, and take an hour. Go through all of these photos and download your own personal folder on your computer or on your phone so you can easily access the ones you know that you've chosen that you could see yourself leveraging. Webinars. So if you're here today, you are very familiar with our webinars, whether they are more business related, whether it's, helping you run your own sale, like how running our Black Friday sale. Maybe you're just looking to bolster your product knowledge, or maybe you're training someone new and you need them to get their knowledge on Bushbalm up to par. Really leveraging our product knowledge webinars that we run on a monthly basis. In addition, we have ones how to add in services like hydrogel masks services, webinars that we've done. There's tons that we're doing. If we're ever not doing one that you think would be a really great add-on, please let us know. We love that feedback. But in addition to that, another way to get more eyes on you and your brand and your business is going to be adding yourself to our studio locator. For those who don't know, anyone who would go on the regular Bushbalm website has the opportunity to shop local. Anyone looking to support local businesses, or maybe just don't want to pay for the extra shipping costs, they just put in their zip code, they're able to find any studio who is carrying Bushbalm in their area. So if you're not on it, you should be. Some additional perks, again, on the product knowledge side of things, because knowledge is one of our best tools when it comes to retailing, I always encourage to explore our product sell sheets. If I've ever spoken with you, I have referred to these as your product cheat sheets. So as much as informative as our webinars can be, we can leave and think, what was that one product that had that one ingredient that does that one thing? Your product sell sheets are going to have that all broken down to what's in it, how does it work, and what routines can you build around it. If you're training new staff, encourage them to learn these and to what's the word I'm thinking of, to really just get to know them like the back of their hands, to study them. And then another avenue you have is your Club Bear points. So those who aren't familiar with your Club Bear points, these is your loyalty system that we have here. You are able to gain points by spending, by engaging with us. Those points transfer into vouchers. Those vouchers can turn into savings on your next orders. We also have a referral program where you can give $50 off to a local SD, which will then give you $50 off your next order. So with all of these savings, you then have an opportunity to translate those into, well, a lot of different things that can contribute towards your retail, which is what I'm going to talk about next here. So Bushbalm has sales. If anyone who's been here for a minute, you've seen our spring break, our birthday sale, our Black Friday sale. So the question poses is, how can you benefit from our sales to support your retail? So first, when you're going into it, think about, what do you want to do with these savings? Are they going to be gifts for your clients to just show them your appreciation? Are you going to create a contest or promotions to get more engagement for them? Or is the intention, which is just as good, to reinvest back into your business with these full profits that you're able to make off of the discounted items? As long as you are registered to our marketing emails and you're in a line of communication with your account manager, you'll know about these ahead of time. So my encouragement there is to plan ahead. By planning ahead, you'll be able to let your audience know, whether it's through marketing, whether it's through social media or any sort of platform you're communicating with them, so they can get ready for your sales. In addition, be creative. There's so many different ways you can approach this. There's not just a one way. So do it in ways that are going to be reflective to your space, your brand, and your offerings. So lastly, when it comes to your overall what you get with working with Bushbalm and on the professional side is your dedicated account manager. So as I've mentioned, I work really closely with our community. So I'm really becoming that database of what is working for all of our estheticians, what sort of tips and tricks, do's and don'ts, lessons that they've learned that I'm then able to share and bring back to our community. With our top retailers, we're going to continue to be working closely with them, learning what is making them successful and driving their success overall. So once again, we can bring that back to you all. When it comes to your feedback, as I mentioned, we are only as good as knowing what you all need. So when we don't have something that you think could help promote or make your retail or just your overall Bushbalm experience better, please let us know. So with everything we've gone through, we're at the halfway mark here, but I would love to spend a few minutes here just taking a look at any sort of questions that might have popped up, or if any has come up throughout the conversation today. And if there isn't, that's okay too. Oh, yes. Deanna, go ahead.
Sorry, I was trying to figure out how to unmute myself. I heard something about using the roller as a deodorant. Can you say that again?
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially the AHAs and BHAs, the AHA and BHA that's within it is good for unclogging the pores, as well as just removing those dead skin cells that contribute to the bacteria that creates that odor. So one thing I will note is it's not an antiperspirant. You still might get some sweatiness, but it's going to help with reducing the bacteria that creates that odor.
That's awesome. Thank you.
My pleasure. When will we have access to the recording? You will have access to the recording either today or tomorrow, just as we have a few folks off today who would typically be doing that. So yeah, today or tomorrow, you'll be having access to today's recording. My pleasure, Gabriella. Is there any other questions? And if there's not, what I'm also going to do, and I'm going to leave it into the chat here for a bit, is I just put in my calendar link. So if there is anything that you think is worth having a one-on-one, or even better, if you guys have practiced some of these trips before and have seen success, or maybe you're doing something different that I haven't mentioned that's bringing you a ton of success, I would love to hear them. I'd love to learn from you and work together. Krista.
Hi, I was just wondering, the cleansing wipes, when we've ordered them in the past, they come in like a large box that's not really set up for retail. Are they set up for retail like individually?
Great.
Or just yeah, the way that they are?
Great question. So yes, there's two versions, the same way like we have our back bar oils and we have our retail oils. It's really just the quantity that changes. So for our back bar wipes, we have the 200 option or the 1000 option. So also I'll note with the introductory kit I walked through, those prices were reflected to the 200 option. So if you went with the 1000, you could actually get them a little cheaper. But to answer your question, Do we have wipes available to retail? And the answer is yes. They come in a beautiful little green cube-like box, and they have about 15 wipes. They have 15 wipes available in there. So those can be a really great one to retail to your clients.
Thank you.
Pleasure. I'll give it a few more minutes here too, just in case there's any other questions. And again, if you don't feel like asking them here today, you're more than welcome to use my calendar link that I put in the chat, and we can always find time to go one-on-one. Okay. Well, you know what, gang? I think that might be all the questions that we have here today. Oh, there she is. Go for it, Maura.
Thank you for the webinar, but I'm kind of fairly new to Bushbalm, and I've been looking at some of the serums and the scrubs. Let's say you have someone that has a little bit of hyperpigmentation, but she also has ingrowns as well. Would you recommend, or do you recommend, like, kind of mixing them up a little bit? So like a scrub from one and an oil from the other, or, you know, vice versa?
Yeah, good question. So I would say if you have someone who suffers with ingrowns and dark spots, I would strongly encourage our Bermuda line, as it is going to assist with both. But to your point as well, if you want to use, let's say, a Bermuda scrub, but then you wanted to use like a watermelon sugar oil, you could mix and match that if they wanted something else that had maybe more scent to it or something. But to answer your question, I would say Bermuda would be your best option. But I would also, if you're newer to Bushbalm, I'd also encourage, let's set up a phone call, you and I, and we can always dive into like so much more than just that.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I'm excited for us to chat more. Any other questions from anyone who's left here? No worries. Well, hey, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who attended, who participated, and I really do appreciate it. We plan to do more of these. If you have any feedback on today's webinar of things that you think could have been better, also things that could be added on of what you're practicing today, please share that information with me. I'd love to hear more of it. But until then, have a great start to all of your weeks, and we'll be in touch. Thank you. All right, bye guys.